Hello everyone, welcome back again. So this is going to be another informative guide on Kindred. So before we get into the pathing and the matchups of this game, the first thing we're going to go over is marks. So for marks 0 to 4, Kindred will get her first range increase at 4 marks, and this is 75 attack range. And then obviously she gets extra like attack speed, wolf damage, and like E damage. So all of her abilities get buffed by the amount of marks she has. And then every 3 marks after that first 4 marks, her range will be increased by 25 each mark. So for mark number 1, it only spawns on the 2 scuttle crabs, so it's a 50-50 chance on what side it'll go on the map. And then after that, for the last 3 marks until 4, it can either go on Gromp, Raptors, or a scuttle crab. So depending on timers, etc., you can kind of plan on where your mark is going to spawn if you know what camps are up at what time. So then after 4 marks, once you have 4 marks, your mark can spawn on wolves, blue buff, red buff, and Krugs. And then at 7 marks is the last mark that it spawns here, and then at 8 marks, it'll spawn on either the Dragon or Rift Herald or Baron. So that's the basic like marks. And obviously at 4 marks is the first range increase, which is the most significant. You get 75, and then every 3 after you get 25. And then you can also mark champions when you kill them or get an assist. You also will get a mark. So if you're ganking and you want to like plan on ganking this lane, you can mark them and then kill them, and then you get obviously another mark. Another thing that people may not know is, let's say the blue buff is marked and your mid laner wants blue. If you just do damage to the mark, it counts and you will get the mark anyway, even if you don't kill the camp. It's a thing that a lot of people actually don't know. Anyway, so now we're going to get along with the actual video. So in this game, looking at the matchups, they have a bot lane of Nico, Swain, which is kind of cheesy, and they have to really hit their roots to be effective, basically. And then we have Misfortune, Rakan, which is kind of like a powerhouse combo. So most likely early game, Misfortune and Rakan are just going to hard push them in because they don't have enough spells to really do anything bot lane. Mid lane is Ziggs versus Lucian. So Ziggs early game probably will get pushed in by Lucian, but eventually when Ziggs gets more AP, he'll have more pressure on the map. And then top lane is Sylas versus Camille. This is kind of an iffy matchup. I don't really know the new Sylas in LS matchups yet, but I'm assuming that Camille probably wins earlier, and then maybe Sylas scales into it. I'm not really sure though. And then Gragas versus Kindred. I think that it's a super skill mechanical matchup where if Kindred doesn't get hit by a Gragas body slam, it's basically the Kindred can't get hit by body slams is the biggest thing. So if you can cue the body slam or flash it, but then the Gragas can also like body slam flash you as well. So it's really skill dependent, and it's a very mechanical matchup for either champion to win. So I'm going to explain my early pathing. So you mainly just always want to start red on Kindred. There's never a time I really will start blue. This isn't really the most common path I take. I like to do really early invades with Kindred. On red side, I'll start red and then just invade their blue right away and then look to get their Gromp. But on blue side, what you can do is not what I actually am doing this game. This game, I was just auto-pathing like a dum-dum. But you mostly will want to go red, Gromp into blue buff. This was last season's path. And I just did it like, I was just kind of not focused enough, and I kind of was just AFK pathing and just kind of did it. So I noticed that I did that like mid-game anyway, so the reason why you choose to only do these 3 camps instead of clear everything is because if the other jungler clears all their bottom side, you will most likely get to the red buff before them. Obviously in this game, we see that Gragas skipped his Gromp, so that'll speed up his clear a lot, which is why he was at his red buff when we got there. So, and at this point we saw that Camille left, so we just have to leave. So if Gragas doesn't skip his Gromp, we most likely will get his red there and already get an early advantage. So now we look for like a cheese mid gank, and it doesn't really work out. But we blow all of mid sums, which is really good, but we have to use our own flash. So now, because our bot lane is pushing, and we can see mid lanes right here, and they're kind of chunked, we feel safe enough to go get this crab, because we know that Gragas is going to go to top crab. So our mark, it's spawned bot side, it's kind of unlucky, so now the only mark is top. So now, our next mark won't spawn until the next crab spawns. Or if we left this crab up, then it could spawn on this crab, but we need to really kill the crab. Otherwise, we don't really want to fall behind in tempo too hard because all our bot camps aren't really good to kill. But anyway, we're ganking mid here. As you saw, I smited a minion, and this is actually because of my runes, so I choose to go press the attack. I'm just going to pause quick because I kind of want to explain this. So I go press the attack, triumph, legend alacrity, last stand, nimbus cloak, and celerity. You can't see them, but that's the ones I went. And if I rewind, as I'm waiting right here, when he dashes forward is basically what I'm looking for to start going in, because he just used his movement spell. So he baited with his barrier, and then we knew that he used his flash earlier. So then we know that it's safe to go in. We smite the minion for extra move speed to catch up to him. And then we use our Q to catch up. And at this point right here, if you watch really slowly, so I auto him once. He's obviously one auto. But I walk back because he walked and autoed me like that. I wasn't sure if it was safe because we had no clue where Gragas and Camille weren't on the map. So we kind of wait for, and then we see Gragas appear, and then we go in and make the last auto. So you have to kind of think that, oh, maybe Gragas is sitting right here. So that's why we kind of played that a little bit slower than what we could have. But we still get first blood, so it's fine. So now we look to just go take our Gromp. That kind of caught us back up into the game. If we check our gold, we're at 1500, Gragas at 1400, so we have the most gold in the game right now. Even though I misplayed my pathing early, now I have the most gold again. And what I've mentioned in previous videos, on the first camp you killed and the next one you do, it'll spawn around 4 minutes. Since we went red to wolves this game, it takes a little bit longer to walk. It's 4:15 and my wolves respawn, so because I went Gromp, I can get these wolves right after. And then you'll probably want to look for a reset because dragon's spawning. So we get the wolves, and now we can speed up. So because we're still at 0 marks, so our first mark is going to spawn wherever the scuttle crab spawns. Unless we kill Gragas. So at this point, the scuttle crab just despawned bottom side. And we see that scuttle crab is spawning right here. So we know that for sure that the mark is going to spawn by the dragon. So we're just looking to clear camps at this point. To go over my items, I didn't have them open actually. So I chose to go, you always go red smite in every game, I think, because it's just a really good 1v1ing smite compared to blue smite, which is kind of like a catching up type thing. I think that if you go Nimbus Cloak, that red smite is kind of like a blue smite. It's kind of like a 2-in-1. So I will always go red smite on Kindred. Anyway, so I chose to go longsword with my red smite because I'm looking to just try to play around this objective right now, and that's why I don't choose to go boots instead of a longsword. Because I'm going for this dragon, so I don't really care about move speed. I'm going for this raw stats, pretty much. So before the objective, we look to gank bottom to get bot priority, so we can just do the dragon for free, pretty much. So they start to engage. We just don't even get an assist, kind of tragedy, but now we just get a free dragon. In top lane, they were fighting. Just unlucky, he dies, but we get dragon for it. And what we mentioned earlier is that this mark is spawning, so we will get our mark and the dragon. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1. So you can speed it up, we're just killing drag. And then the mark spawns, we're just taking mark. Okay. Now we're just clearing. We're looking to just get enough gold, pretty much. We have the 2 longswords and the thing, so it costs 925 to buy warrior enchantment with these items, and an extra like 300 gold to buy boots. So now, because my mark spawn bot side, I'm looking to invade, and since I have Rakan here, I feel safe. Plus, we have Ziggs ult. So even though Ziggs is over here, he can still just ult over here. So we're kind of 3-man invading, but not really. We see Gragas on the ward, so we immediately just turn on him because it's just a free kill. So that gets us our 2nd mark there, and now we can get our 3rd mark from this camp, and then we're just 1 mark away from our range upgrade, and we're looking to take blue buff now. So at this point, we probably should have left sooner. We didn't really get any pings that people are missing, but it works out. We end up barely getting out because they didn't break the blast cone. So that's just like an example of like you can kind of overgreed for your mark, but it's fine. It worked out in this game, but that might not always work out. Now we recalled with just enough gold to get our warrior and our boots. Now we're just looking to start playing the map and trying to get top side because we don't have any objectives bot side. So it looks like we're just trying to hold our top lane right now. Just getting like priority in top lane so we can start doing Rift Herald. Like that's a really good thing to do before you try to do Dragon. Unless you know that there's no vision on it, you always want to try to get priority in that lane. So mid died. So now at this point we can't really do Herald, it's really risky, so we look at mid HP. We see he's kind of low, but we don't have that much mana left. We only have around 200. So we just look to take blue buff instead, and then we see he's still pushing, so we look to try to kill mid. So we figure a really good thing to do when you're ganking as Kindred is you jump over these little walls to like eliminate them seeing you earlier. So we do this on him and we see him. We actually just kill him straight up, and then I just like goober my flash basically. Anyway, we'll speeden up again. We look to gank bot, but they obviously just backed off right away. Now we're looking to do Mountain Dragon again. We kill bottom. And now since we have Ziggs, they TP'd, we TP'd. We're just gonna all hit this tower, and Ziggs can blow it up. So we just start smacking. And then we start blasting. And then obviously Mountain Dragon spawning, so we're trying to set up our early win condition by just doing all the dragons. So we start Mountain. I think if you didn't know, so Ocean Dragon has spawned and Mountain Dragon spawned now. So the only 2 dragons it could be is Infernal and Air. And this game we got Infernal Soul. So we just get Berserker Greaves. Basically, this is the 2nd best item to buy. And then now, I always like to go, right now, the build I like to go is crit. You go Warrior, Berserker Greaves, Storm Razor, and then I like to go Static Shiv into IE. The reason I like Static Shiv is, against like a full melee team, you can, like, for this example, if the Static Shiv bounces on them, the Storm Razor will proc on both targets and they will both get slowed. So it's really good utility for your team. Because I think, in my opinion, that Phantom Dancer is kind of bad on Kindred, because a lot of the time your Phantom Dancer shield will just proc when you're ulting. Because like it's the risk of getting one shot, so you'll ult before you get one shot, and then your Phantom Dancer just procs anyway, and then it's kind of wasted. So I really don't like Phantom Dancer as an item on Kindred. If you want to go like a defensive item like that, I suggest going like Mob Melmordius instead, or like a Hex Drinker. I think it's just way better. It's like one of the champions that I feel like just Phantom Dancer is bad on. So back to farming, and now we're playing top side. So having Rakan with me, we can just run in the river since I have such a high item spike right now. They just can't do anything. And then we look to do Rift. So at this point, I'm at 5 marks. So getting this mark doesn't mean too much to me because it's not like 6 or 7. Like 6 going to 7 because 7 marks is my next like upgrade in my range. So it doesn't mean too much. So we just get the Rift and then we look to just recall. Probably. Or no, we Rift mid because Plaids. Because it's before 14 minutes, we look to get Plaids. We get a pick, so this is looking really good right now. So, since there's 4 of us here, we all get Plaids. And I thought that the tower would actually die faster, or we could just blow it up with Ziggs. But we actually just kind of all die. Because they rotate. It was just like, I guess, an overstay by us. We got the plates, we should have just probably backed out. We tried to kind of get the tower because of Ziggs W. So that was just tragic. So now, this is kind of an awkward point in the game where it's really hard to really know what to do. Sometimes I even have the problem of I don't really know what to do because there's no objectives topside, there's no objectives bottom side for like a while. So you pretty much are like at a point where like in solo queue, obviously people just get caught out or make like an overextend or something, and you can just play off that. Sorry about that. But in a scenario where maybe they're not overextending and just randomly dying, you just have to like farm your jungle kind of efficiently and like make sure if your team is walking up, you have to kind of be near your team. But if your team's not walking up, you're just safe to kind of farm. So now I look to invade this mark because we just haven't seen the mark, but we see it disappears. So now we just get some deep vision. We just look to take red. So dragon spawning soon, so we're going to take red and most likely either a reset or start preparing for dragon. Yeah, we're looking for reset. If we check our gold, we're at 600, so we probably just upgraded to this and bought pinks. Pinks are always like really good, just objective control, just denying enemy vision, so it's safer for you to take objectives. So we put our pink in this bush. And this is really crucial because it kind of denies them for walking up. And then when we see them start walking in this bush, see we're on dragon at this point, when they start walking in this bush, we move our pink ward to the dragon pit to make sure they can't see us doing dragon, and then we just secure the dragon. So just run away. So that sets up our win condition of around 21 minutes. Yeah, at 21:37, the last dragon will spawn for Infernal Soul. So now we can speed it up. Just like a 1-for-1 fight. We get mid tower. Now we're back to just kind of farming. At this point, we're just kind of waiting. Looking to just, you know, keep our... Well, we're actually behind in gold, but we're ahead in objectives by quite a bit because we have 3 dragons and they have none. So we're just trying to farm and basically keep at a point where we can just do dragon. So we just keep fighting. I meant farming, not fighting. We basically only can make calculated fights. Otherwise, like, it's really risky. We know somebody cleared the crab. And now they just overextend and then they die. So they just throw. This is like just like a solo queue thing. They'll just randomly die. It's really weird. So now we just push mid. There's not really anything else to do because Rift Herald's gonna despawn anyway. And now we get our 7th mark here. Or no, our 6th mark. Just little wall corner hops just to gain a little bit extra distance. So now, at this point, dragon spawning in a minute, so We are fine at clearing some of our top camps up here, and then just heading to Dragon. Just keeping vision control around this area. Because if we remember at the previous dragon fight, we kept vision control here and they couldn't walk up. And then I kind of int because my team was over here and I guess I was trying to hold vision, but I didn't see one of them, obviously, or something. So that was actually like a really bad position play by me, but it ends up working out. Because they use Gragas ult, so they don't have Gragas ult for this fight. And we just get like a disgusting misfortune ult. Pretty much like after this point, like they can't really do anything. Because we get Infernal Soul. So this is like my little mini guide. And then obviously we go and take red. Everyone was dead, and that gets us our 7th mark. So now we got the range upgrade. So yeah, at this point the game is pretty much over. But we played it for objectives early, and we kind of just won the game through objectives. It's kind of like a style that I like to play in general. Anyway, that's like my little mini guide on Kindred. I didn't really go into any like in-depth mechanical things on her. If you would like, I can. Or like even on my last video, like on Karthus or Kha'Zix, I didn't really go about the champion, just like how I like to path and how I like to play. So this game was kind of weird because I like to normally do really early invades, but this game, just on this path, like this invade is good, but it just ended up not working out this game. But I like to go a lot of like red buff into blue, into their Gromp for level 3, and then try to kill them at their wolves. It's like a common invade I'll do. Anyway, that's my guide. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to watch me play live, you can always check out my Twitch stream. Join my Discord if you would like. You can see when I go live on Twitch, and when I post YouTube videos, I always at everyone in my Discord. So if you want to be in my Discord to see that when I'm live or when I post videos, you can see it in there. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.